And welcome to my live. I'm Sisian from Manifest underscore with underscore Sisian, right? Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting book called The Alchemist, okay? The reason why I'm even interested in this book, it's about self-discovery and self-awareness, and also about how you can be able to find your own purpose and how your journey can be so creative, right? So the book speaks about this boy called Santiago. Santiago is a Spanish shepherd, right? He was a shepherd basically. He was an educated boy, but he wanted to travel the world, right? His parents wanted him to go into the monastery and become a preacher, a priest, but he chose to be something else, be a shepherd, so that he able to also travel because he liked the idea of travel. Okay, so the book is all about uh Santiago and his journey in his life, discovering who he is and traveling to different places from Spain to Africa, right? So he used to have this dream. He repeatedly had this dream about a treasure buried under the pyramids or near the pyramids in Egypt, okay? And it's about the adventure itself, the call for adventure, encouraged by the mysterious king in the story. Santiago sells his sheep and goes on a quest and a journey to find his treasure. Now, there's a bit of challenges and a lot of learning for this young boy in his journey. Santiago is encouraged by a mysterious king, as I said, okay? And now he goes on to this journey. So, challenges and learning. Along the way, he learns to read omens or signs or symbolisms, omens and meets various people, like the crystal merchant, which is quite an interesting part of the story, right? Where he was employed by this crystal merchant, okay? And he learns a lot about life and how his life as a shepherd was in terms of how it is now working for the crystal merchant. Okay, so these are the things that he goes through. Then he also meets the Englishman and finally the alchemist, the mysterious alchemist, right? Which is quite interesting and discovers the language of the world. So this guy, Santiago, uh, discovers the language of the world. He discovers how the world is basically in the same way he's learning more about himself as a person. Then he has life and a growth experience as well, where he falls in love with Fatima. Now he was taken by this lady, this young girl called Fatima, which had met, and he longed to be with her. Okay, so now there you learn patience and desire in that process of meeting up with Fatima. And then a spiritual realization, understanding who you are, is another part, the life lesson that he went through at that time in his journey of self-discovery. So spiritual realization. Santiago understands that his real treasure lies not with the material things, but with the listening to his heart as well and within his soul, learning how to be. His treasure is not the material things, it's about the being of being himself and enjoying life. Okay, that's the treasure. That's what he holds valuable in his life. Then the twist of the story is basically the treasure is actually buried in Spain. At the end of the story, we find that what he was looking for all his time on his life journey was actually buried back in Spain, right? And that's the twist of the story, and that says to him that the greatest discovery is self-awareness itself, because his journey was not about the destiny, it's about the journey, right? The learning, the awareness, the wisdom gained along the way of his specific journey. So it makes me think about each person's personal growth journey in life, okay? So wherever your inspiration leads you, you go and you try those things, and it's just the experience of the learning, not really the destination of where you want to go. Okay, life is like that. So the themes of the book, basically, the themes of the book. Thank you for joining my live. The themes of the book is basically personal growth. Okay, your personal legend, which is your purpose. So each person has their own specific call in life or pursue in life, okay? The universal support, meaning the universe supports you, right? Universe supports you always. When you commit to your dream, the universe will help you in every way for you to be able to actually be successful in actually achieving your goal or your dream. The language of the world is everything communicates in signs and omens and symbolism. Okay, the world or the universe doesn't speak in language; it speaks in symbolisms, right? In signs and omens, as the book says. Then there's transformation. The inner alchemy or the true alchemy, right, is turning, in other words, fear and ignorance into gold, which is wisdom and love. Okay, that's what we're looking for. An alchemist, turning fear, your human fear, into something else, right? Understanding that fear is just an illusion. That is true alchemy. Transmuting those negative things to positive things, that's true alchemy. Making the best out of a situation that seems to be at loss, a bad situation, and transmuting that situation to work for you, that's true alchemy, right? So now remember, in alchemy, there's the physical alchemy where they actually take those chemical properties and they combine them and they change lead into gold, right? But as human beings, we do the opposite. We think we're also doing an alchemy process, but we're changing something within ourselves, right? Thank you for joining my live. Hi, everybody. I'm Sissy, and life coach, motivational speaker. Today we're speaking about the story called The Alchemist. That book, I know it's quite a well-known book, okay? So I'm speaking about this book and how the journey of Santiago in the book helps us as well as human beings to understand that everything is just a journey, right? It's a Spanish name. Santiago. Is it Santiago? Yes. Anyway, so the story is about him and his journey and how he moves on. How he falls in love and understands that love is not about somebody holding you back. Genuine love is about that supports you rather than hold you back. So Fatima was a supportive partner to this young boy, right? Then the spiritual lessons that are in the book is all about follow your dreams with courage and faith. Don't give up on yourself. Follow your dreams with courage and faith. Trust the journey, even if the path is unclear. Trust the journey, even if the path is unclear. Pay attention to signs and your intuition. Pay attention to signs and intuition. Very important. Then another important lesson is to let go of fear, embrace change and uncertainty. Now we all have a problem with that. We all have a challenge with letting go of the old and trying something new, right? So you need to let go of fear, right? And just embrace change and uncertainty. And then true wealth is inner fulfillment. True wealth is inner fulfillment, not just the material positions. We all actually have the houses, the cars, lots of money in the bank. But at the end of the day, the true fulfillment is not material possession, because the material possessions come and they go, they get old, they get tired, they break, right? We ourselves get tired of certain things and we keep on wanting the best new thing, the best new car, a simple thing like a phone. Like the Apple phone brand makes phones like every 3 months or so, or twice a year or more, right? We buy a phone and then you love the phone, right? And the next minute you see, oh my God, there's a new version of the phone that came out. So the one that you were using before doesn't seem to be good enough, right? You're always looking for the best, for the better all the time, continuously. Now that is the program that's in the matrix for us to become consumers, constantly seeking the next best thing and not really soaking in and enjoying what we have at that moment and being appreciative. So in this journey, this young boy, Santiago, learns that life is about the experience, right? The journey. And that material wealth is not the everything of life, right? So let's go through the book. Chapter 1. Santiago, the young shepherd in Spain, who dreams repeatedly about finding a treasure near the Egyptian pyramids. Right? Santiago meets a mysterious old man, right? The King of Salem. I won't even try and say that name, right? But anyway, who tells him about his personal legend, his purpose, right? So this guy was also the trigger, the person that triggered him to go forth and find his purpose. Then the specific guy, the King of Salem, gives Santiago 2 magical stones, right, to help him to interpret the omens that he comes across. Then Santiago decides to sell his sheep and then move forward to find his dream, okay, to pursue his dream and find this treasure in Africa. Now you're traveling all the way from Spain to Africa. That's a distance, right? You know what I mean? However, remember that Santiago travels from to Tangier in Africa, but is quickly robbed and loses all his money. Okay, now these things really happen when you're pursuing your purpose in life. You will come across some challenges in life. Get my point? Like maybe this guy, he for example, Santiago, he was robbed when he first got to Africa, and it took all his wealth and his belongings that he had with him, right? So despite that setup, or despite the setback, despite the setback, right, he resolves it and keeps moving and pursuing his quest. So again, it teaches us here in the specific incident of him being robbed, that in life, no matter, even if you go through a challenge, a setback that stops you from pursuing what you want to pursue, don't give up on yourself. Continue, resolve your issue, and continue with your journey to get where you want to go. Whatever it is, this speaks into every single thing you want to do in life. A new job, challenging new position, and you've never done before. Maybe you're not feeling sure about yourself. But if that job inspires you, it makes you feel good, then pursue it, right? And even if you have some challenges in the job, continue learning. It's a learning process, okay? Example, a business. You start a business, right? You start this huge business, whatever, small business, okay? And you find some challenges, or maybe getting a finance with a business, or people to invest in your business, or you find challenges getting customers. All you need to understand that maybe I need to approach it more differently. Maybe I need to find different ways of marketing my business. You see, so these things are what we're learning. And in the story says that Santiago is learning the same process as well. He's not giving up. He's not giving up at all. Okay, after you've been robbed, somebody else will say, no ways, I'm going back home. I'm afraid this is not safe, right? I've lost everything. I'm just going to get enough money and find somebody to help me so I can go back home. And I mean, I've seen people do that. You're on a quest to achieve something different and new in your life. You will be confronted by challenges. Why back down and give up? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That means now you're going to be going backwards. In every new journey in life, there'll always be a challenge. Don't allow those challenges to push you away or move you away from what you should be doing, what you want to do. Okay? Your purpose, your goals in life are very important. They need to be achieved. So as I said, despite the setback, he resolves the situation and he continues with his pursuit to find the treasure. Okay? Then he finds work as a crystal merchant. This was where he was really nurtured with that experience. He finds this work with the crystal merchant shop, learning about patience, risk-taking as well, and also learning that his ideas are also valuable, because when he got there, the crystal merchant didn't understand that this boy could add value to his business. So Santiago learned that in this process, the crystal merchant had given up on his dreams, right? Because of the fact that, he felt that his life was, I'm happy where I am where I am now. I don't want anything more. I don't want, okay, this is most of us, okay? And I can also speak about my own situation sometimes, like in this case. You want to do something. You have this life goal. Hi. Yes, I'm manifest _ Sicilian. Manifest with you and me. You crazy guy. Anyway, you've got a sense of humor. I appreciate that. Okay, anyway. So sometimes when we have this big goal in life, okay, to achieve something, right? We work and we get something, and we find that I'm content where I am now. I'm content just having this job where I'm just going to be earning the salary every month. This job is allowing me to just live a a minimum type of life, a basic type of life, and I'm fine with that. However, you have this life goal that need to take you out of that space and expand you, but because you're too comfortable in your situation, you want to stay right there, right? So that's why I'm saying that the crystal merchant had a lot of ambitions in life for his business, right? And he also had a major life goal to go to Mecca because he was Islam, a Muslim, and his greatest goal was to go to Mecca on a quest, right? But now remember that most Islam or Muslim people who don't have the wealth, they save for that money. It's like their life's purpose to go to Mecca, right? So, however, the specific merchant in the book, the alchemist, when he met Santiago, he told him Santiago about his dream about going to Mecca, but he gave up on it because he was feeling afraid to move from a comfortable situation of just running his business and just providing the basic service. So Santiago, number one, gave him new ideas to make more money, right? To make more money for his business and expand his business. That also taught Santiago a lesson that he has skills and abilities that can also add to people's businesses and to his life. He realized how smart he is, basically. You know, sometimes we feel that we don't have enough information, don't have enough abilities to do things that we want to do. We feel that we are not good enough, we're not talented enough, okay? However, that's not the case. Every single person has a skill or skills that actually level them up, skills that add value to their lives and that can help them also create like success in their life experience, okay? So now Santiago begins to learn with that experience with the crystal merchant, right? But now the crystal merchant was afraid of fear, taking chances and taking risks. So he never ever went to Mecca, right? To pursue his dream to go visit Mecca as a Muslim devotee, right? So now you were saying to Seijo, when Seijo was ready to move on now and continue his pursuit to find his fortune, right, in Egypt. He was trying to discourage him by telling him that you want to go, but you never will go. Just like me, I want to go to Mecca, but I know I'll never go. Now, that is telling you, like somebody is a naysayer, somebody's talking against your own purpose, your own ambition. And that happens to most of us in life. You might have that relative or that friend that's against your upliftment. They are happy for you to just be in their space, to be as successful as they are or as unsuccessful as they are, right? However, when you want to level up now and you're sharing your dream with them and telling them your dreams, right? They may talk down to you and say that that's impossible. That's only a dream that can never be achieved. So this is what the crystal merchant, that's the role he played in Santiago's life experience, right? And Santiago never listened to him. He decided to pursue his dream anyway. You understand? And we all should be like that. So this book has a lot of lessons, life lessons on how we can persevere and continue in our path of self-discovery and success, okay? And then another part of the book speaks about so Santasia will help this crystal merchant. He helps him a lot, but then he moved on to pursue his own dream, okay, to chase his own dream, right? He never gave up. He never lost hope. He never gave up on his dream. And that's what's the gold of the book is that. The valuable part of the book is that don't give up on your dream, right? And he also learns practical lessons about how to be an entrepreneur while he was there in his journey from moving from Spain to Africa and going through everything that he needed to go through, right? So Santajo helped the crystal merchants improve the business by introducing new ideas, gaining enough money to continue his journey. Remember, he was getting paid by the crystal merchant. So that money that he gained, he used it to pursue his journey, right? In other words, like when you want to go somewhere, right? There's like steps to get there, right? steps and you need to go through certain things, but don't ever lose hope, okay? Maybe you need to start a business or you want to start a business, right? But now you don't have the cash. You can engage yourself on other things until you actually save enough money to start your business or whatever it is, right? Don't ever give up. That's why I'm saying that this book is quite an inspiring book for every single person that wants to learn how to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life, okay? So Santiago learns practical lessons from his entrepreneurship process experience with the merchant. Persistency is important and following the omens and signs, okay? Being open and having your eyes open to see life's lessons and messages. He realizes that fear or failure often stops people from chasing their dreams. It's either fear or the failure. You tried once, so you're not going to try again. Okay? And or the fear, you're afraid that, you're afraid of the unknown. Okay? You're afraid that maybe if I have to now pursue my dreams, I have to leave this country, I have to leave my home, I have to leave the familiar, comfortable space, the space that I am in now, the comfort space. I'm afraid to move. You understand? Like, for example, people have a lot of opportunities, but they don't want to go and travel and pursue other areas of the world and other things because they're afraid of the unknown. Oh, what if I fail? What if I miss my family? What if my family think I'm actually rejecting them or something like that? You don't put yourself first. You're putting other people's lives first, and yet you live in your own life, okay? We can only do so much for our families and for other people, but we have to do a lot for ourselves because you are living your life and this is your game, right? And then the another part that they speak about the book is about Santiago joins a caravan crossing the Sahara Desert in Egypt. The Sahara Desert in Egypt. He joins a caravan that's crossing the Sahara Desert because he's going to Egypt. Right? On the journey, he meets an Englishman who is studying to become an alchemist and shares the knowledge with him about alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone, right? That's about the alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone. That's another interesting part of the book as well, okay? Then Santiago learns about the soul of the world from the sky as well, right? The interconnectiveness of all things. We all one. So it's a law of oneness that is learning the soul of the world. The caravan arrives in the oasis place, peace and full of refuge, okay? Then Santiago meets his love of his life, Fatima, a desert woman who he falls in love with, right? He struggles between following the love and continuing his quest to learn the true love supports your legend, right? Your true love. If somebody truly loves you, they'll allow you to go and pursue your life purpose. They'll give you that freedom. Love is not holding you back. Love should give you wings and allow you to fly, okay? So when you love somebody, let them pursue their dreams, in other words. So this is what he learns about love. The caravan arrives as the oasis, as I said, right? And that's where he finds a refuge. That's where he meets Fatima, who proves to be his true love, okay? She proves to be the love of his life. However, he needs to pursue his pursuit, okay? So Santiago has a vision on attack of on the oasis. He sees the oasis being attacked, right, by some tribal chiefsmen. Let's just say he had a vision of something bad happening, right? Then he tells them, and they start respecting him. They understand that this guy's got a gift. Okay, remember now he's learning that he has visions, that he has a gift of clairvoyance. Okay, so some of us will learn that this truth about us in different ways. Okay, so for example, every single person has a gift of clairvoyance, right? But not every single person is focused on their gifts. They're focused on the outside, everything outside of them. They focus on the hustle and the grind, right? Now, spirit will not speak to you when you're not tuned into spirit, okay? Your gift of clairvoyance is linked to divine source, your higher self, all right? So the book goes on is like, I think about 10 chapters in the book, right? But I encourage every single person to go ahead and find and read that book. This is even on the audio format as well, okay, online, because it tells us and teaches us about the journey, about being human, right? What it is to be human. We have for the growth. The growth is very important, okay? Then even this guy, Bashur is Bashur. I'm sure you know about it. Bashur is a spiritual teacher. Okay, so Bashar also speaks about us leveling up as well. So he mentioned a couple of things about how you can actually get what you want and desire in life, right? It's about you pursuing your passion. Now, we have heard this so many times. People talk about pursuing your passion. How do you pursue your passion? What is your passion? How do you know when something is your passion? Okay, so it's about the excitement, apparently. It's about how it triggers that inspiration that makes you excited. So Peshua says, follow your personal passion. Do what your heart desires, okay? May it be sport, if that's your passion, then pursue your passion, right? But with consistency. Because he talks about do these very well with consistency. Do whatever gives you inspiration, whatever inspires you, do it as with consistency, right? Until that thing doesn't give you that excitement and that passion anymore. Because remember that in life, they say we have many purposes, which is a true thing. Because, like, for example, for a period of time, maybe music can be very exciting to you. Maybe like writing music, creating music can be very exciting. And then after a while, you pursue that passion until you exhaust it, okay? Then you try something else, all right? Then you pursue that thing until you exhaust you. But at the end of the day, it's all about the passion, how it makes you feel. Everything works better when you are in love with the idea of that thing, right? Have no expectations. This is the part that's very difficult for most of us, because when we're pursuing something, we always have expectations, and these expectations can always hold back the joy, because now you get stuck in the end result. You're not enjoying the journey of the process of now you creating this life that you want to live, right? Life is not supposed to be about the struggle. Life's supposed to be about the ease, the love, the enjoyment, the peace, the positivity. So Bashir speaks about staying positive, being positive always. Know that even if you face challenges and problems in life, right? You can overcome those challenges and you can get solutions to those problems. As I've always said, human beings are problem solvers. That's why we have a problem. That's why we all address sometime in our lives with problems, because we are problem solvers. When you realize that I am really a problem solver, meaning I can solve every problem in my life, you are now empowering yourself to say that yes, I am in control of my life, that I have control in my life, right? Because I know that I can solve problems. A challenge is not a setback. A challenge is just a way of me to overcome something. I must just overcome this challenge, okay? It's all about that. There's problems and there's challenges, and it all can be addressed in a positive way. So when you are running away from something in life because you're afraid of it, it's a challenging you. Spirit is asking you to go within yourself and find a solution, and find this, and understand that you're not bigger than that problem is not bigger than you. You are bigger than that problem. You have a solution to every problem in your life experience. Then he also speaks about overcoming limiting beliefs. Okay, I always speak about overcoming limited beliefs in my content, because your beliefs can be changed at any time. Your beliefs and your worldview can be changed at any time, right? Successful people have a certain type of worldview, right? Unsuccessful people that live in fear, have another type of worldview. Their frequencies are different. Successful people who achieve what they want in life have a different view about life, right? They are ready to overcome their limiting belief systems, okay? Your belief systems are not concrete. They can always be changed. They flexible, they movable, they changeable, right? Somebody's asking a question, sorry. You think like me and you are like me, you act like me, do I? Okay. I hope that makes you happy anyway, right? Remember that every single person is connected, right? Every single person is connected. Hello, Istray. Thank you for joining my live. So you are manifestation coach. Let's just say I'm more of a spiritual coach, right? Manifesting is what we do. You don't even need to be coached. You're creating always. It's about you being more conscious of what you're creating, conscious of your everyday moments. Okay, don't live in a hypnotic rhythm where you actually hypnotized by life itself. You're not focused, you're driven like the wind, right? So when you like that, you're not manifesting or creating things in your life unconsciously, right? So I I speak about self-development in my content. I speak about leveling up. I also help people to find their own solutions in their life, because we are here to find solutions to our problems, okay? And to overcome challenges, because everything can be done. You just need to focus on it and understand that how are you contributing to your problem? How are you contributing consciously or unconsciously to the situation that you want to solve? This big problem is not as big as you think it is in most cases. So every problem in your life is not as big as you think it is, right? And I also speak about spiritual concepts as well, on how you can connect with your soul, with your spirits, and also the ones, your ancestors, your higher self, and stuff like that, right? So I do coach on how you can create your life experience and make it better and more conscious. More, you get my point? That's what I teach on. Back to my topic. Then Bashar also speaks about the triple A concept. Very interesting concept. Acknowledge, appreciate, allow. Okay, acknowledge, excuse me, acknowledge what you have not, what you go achieved, or what you want to achieve. Okay, so it's about acknowledging. Acknowledge what you have not, what not what acknowledge what you have, not what you don't have, right? So you achieve this thing, right? This is what I have. I've achieved it. I've acknowledged that I have this. This is my achievement. Focus on that. Acknowledge what you have, not what you don't have. Okay? What you have achieved, not what you have not achieved. Because when you focus on the lack, on the not having, you have a problem. So you're acknowledging what you have, right? And then appreciate what you have. And then allow what needs to come through to come through. Now, allowing and surrender in every spiritual teaching, there's always a concept of surrender. It's even part of the tarot. It's part of the development of human beings. Okay, when you work towards something and you plant something, even as a farmer, it's about surrendering to nature. You plant that seed, you water that seed, and you let it go. You surrender, right? Now that's allowing. Surrender is allowing, and most people have a problem with allowing, right? So the triple concepts of life when you're manifesting and creating a life experience is: number one, acknowledge what you have achieved, not what you have not achieved. Acknowledge what you have now, not what you don't have. It's all about you having that gratitude, because the triple A concept is also about gratitude. Acknowledgement means I'm grateful. I have this thing now. I'm grateful that I've achieved this thing now. Okay. Then number two, appreciate it. Now fully. Now remember that when people achieve things, you have a goal, you do this race, you wanted to win this race, you practiced, and now you won the race, and now you don't even give yourself 2 days to just enjoy the fact that you won, you achieved this thing, you overcame this challenge, and you achieved this thing, and you were successful. That's your own personal achievement. People don't do that. Instead, as soon as the race is over, you're thinking about what can I do next? I can do better. I can do more. I need more. I need more. Instead of you saying, well, I've practiced for this journey, for this race, and I actually succeeded. I actually did well. I completed, and I at a certain time, and maybe I beat certain people or whatever it is, if it's competitive, right? It's a simple thing, right? You set your goal to write a book, right? You've been trying for so long to write this book. Keep on trying and giving up. You should keep on trying and giving up. But each time you think about the book, writing the book, you're acknowledging the failure, right? You're not acknowledging the fact that I have this idea. If this idea of writing this book is in my heart, right? I have this passion, this idea to write this book is in my heart, right? Let me just focus on the possibilities, right? This is what I have. I have this gift, this vision of me writing this wonderful book. I know what the book's about, right? You give it a rundown. This is what the book about, and I know this is what I have, right? You're now acknowledging it, right? This is what I have. I have an idea. The question is now, how can I work towards manifesting this idea of this book into reality? One step at a time, right? One step at a time. There's a book of so many chapters, okay? Let me think of the first chapter or the first 5 chapters. Okay, maybe that's too much. Maybe the first 2 chapters, what they're going to be about, right? My first chapter is going to be like this. Okay, let me find out how to set it out, how to really structure my chapters, okay? And whatever I'm going to do. One step at a time. Don't be too overwhelmed with your purpose, with your legend, with your goal. Don't be too overwhelmed, right? One step at a time. This is what I even have to teach myself now and again, remind myself. One step at a time. Do not be too overwhelmed. Now you see this book and you think, oh my God, 12 chapters, 20 chapters, how I'm going to achieve that? Where I'm going to start from? What if I get bored? What if I lose inspiration? But if you start with one chapter, okay, and then feed that inspiration by getting more information about the topic that you're writing on. Get more information and downloads from source, right? Feed it, right? Because now you trust yourself, okay? And then allow. That's the trusting part. Allow, okay? Allow. Surrender to the process. Surrender to all possibilities, right? And remember, don't focus too much on the end point. Enjoy the journey, the process. And it's what we learn with the book, in the book called The Alchemist. We learned that Santiago learned to let go and just release it, enjoy the process. And in his journey, he learned a lot. He learned a lot about himself and about life as well, right? So everything is about the learning. So this is what we need to understand, right? So you need to actually follow your dreams all the time, right? Follow your dreams, whatever inspires you. We always get stuck with the fact that, okay, my dream cannot give me money at this moment, then maybe I should just neglect it, okay? That's why we have side hustles. That's why we have hobbies, okay? Your hobby can be that thing that can bring you money when you pour passion into it. The more you follow your hobby, the more you do the things that you need, that you like to do, right? The 9 to 5 hustle and grind to pay the bills, right? The job, okay, brings the money in, right? But at the end of the day, the other stuff, the things that makes you excited about life may one day also be enough to bring in money as well, right? So remember, don't ever lose hope on your dreams and your ambitions, right? So you've got this job that brings the money. Go there and be very faithful to that job, because it's a contract that you sign with that person, that organization, right? But still add value as much as you can, but don't give up on your personal ambitions, whatever it is. If it's business, if it's baking and you want to sell and you enjoy baking but it's not bringing money, it's fine. Keep on baking because it makes you excited. Try different ways of recipes, baking recipes, try different things, learn more about baking, do more of research, try different ingredients. Life is about that, right? Whatever it is, may it even not be baking, maybe it's even social media content creation, right? Enjoy it. That is something you can do in your pastime. It can help you also level up, right? But who knows, maybe if you focus a lot on that one, right? If you add more passion into it, right? By following that passion, right? You're telling spirit that, yes, I love doing this. Give me more of this. 5, give me a way of making money, right? Remember, your money is just a representation of God's love for us, right? Money is a representation, a physical representation of divine source's love for us. That is why people can get money from other people. Some people don't need to work. They get money from other people. Other people invest in their lives. Like, for example, a parent takes care of his child, okay? The parent is going to work, right? The parent has love for this child, right? Now, the love for the child is coming from the love from God. You understand? That's where it's coming from. I'm saying that money is actually a representation of God's divine love for us. Money is not an evil thing. It's not an evil thing. It's just a tool. However, the frequency of getting all your needs met is a God frequency. It means that God takes care of you. You have your basic needs met. You can pay for your rent and everything. You understand? But remember that you are God. You see, that's another tricky thing, right? You are your authority in your life. You are God, right? Because you in the game, right? There is no God here standing telling you what to do, right? There is no God unless you've really created that in your mind. You made this concept of religion control you. You made the Christian God, or you made whatever it is, or even spirituality your God, because people believe in different things. That I need to, first thing in the morning, I need to maybe do crystals. I need to maybe meditate. My life cannot go forward if I don't do a meditation. God forbid, if I don't meditate today, my life is going to go into another disarray. That means now you're giving authority to that meditation. You are the authority, right? That meditation is a tool to calm you down, to raise your frequency. The crystal that you're using are tools, right? The crystals you're using are tools. They tools. That's what they are. Everything is tools, okay? So when human beings tend to make certain things authority. Like, for example, people like tarot, and I read tarot, right? So people want to go to all these people that read tarot, read cards, and they want those cards to control them. Oh, should I buy this house now? Okay, listen, what does the card say? The question is, what is your soul saying? What is your soul saying? What is your higher self saying? You understand? It's not about the cards, about you. Even when we're reading your subconscious energies, we're reading your energies, right? It's all about you. People want always looking for something else to be authority over them. That's where the problem comes in. Okay, thank you for that comment. Right, guys, I'm Sissy, a life coach and motivational speaker. I hope that what I'm speaking about is bringing some insights, right? Remember that everything that I'm saying should spark an insight to inspire you somehow, or even make you question maybe a belief that's holding your own success back, okay? So these activities that you find excite you, they give you have passion for. You should do them with consistency. Consistency is very important. Have no expectations. I spoke about that. Being expectant is a good thing, but when you now are only focused on that, and you're not focused on the process of what you're doing, enjoying it every day, whatever it is, enjoy it. I'm baking. I love baking. Yes, I know I'm not going to focus on the end product of this cake, but I love the idea that I'm mixing it, and it's calming me. I enjoy it. It fills my soul. It's comforting to me to sit and bake. You get my point every day. Or maybe it's jogging, whatever exercise, physical, whatever it is, whatever makes you excited. All right. So that thing can also make a way money. Like, for example, you love sports, you like jogging, and you're a fit person. You may then use that skill that you've gained to actually help other people and become maybe a fitness coach, or even a physical coach. You're helping people because, as I said, that your passion will make a way for you, right? Your passion will make a way for you. That means that your passion can also bring in money when you pour positivity in it with belief. So your hustle, your hobby can one day also become your way of making money and having wealth in your life, right? And having that happiness and that joy. This is what Bashar is trying to tell people, that you need to follow your bliss, right? And remember that it's not the end product that's important. It's the now. It's the process. It's the journey. The journey is very important, right? So yeah. So today is Saturday. Okay, it's a great day for reflection. Reflecting on your past week. Reflecting on things that you can do better within yourself. And now we always in a rush and rushing, moving around life. Stressing and stuff like that. On Saturday, I think it's time for us to chill and relax, because we work for 5 days, most of us. for those that don't work weekends, right? So weekends supposed to be a time where you can chill, right? Relax and have introspection. That's what I always tell my clients, right? And the people that follow me, relaxation is very important. Relax, do some journaling, write how you feel about life and what you've learned about yourself this week, for you to be able to also have direction in your life experience. Very important, right? Now remember that you are the master of your own reality, right? And if you have not as yet, go and look for Google the audio of the book called The Alchemist. Okay, when I first came across that book, because I had different expectations until I went through it and I listened to it and I did more research on it and I immersed myself into the book to understand it more. I realized that it's actually a book of just us becoming more human, becoming more awake of our own life experience, taking ownership, being the authority of your own life experience. Okay, so this guy, Santiago, right? He learned to make his own decisions. His parents were pushing him this way, so he decided, no, I don't want to be a pastor. I want to do this. I want to do something more and different. So in his journey, he learns a lot of things: how to be entrepreneur, how to take care of sheep, okay? That's loving kindness and compassion for the next being, okay? Remember, and what I like about the story, it talk about the sheep, and the sheep of the or representation of the human archetype, right? The human consciousness at the moment. We all like sheeps. We're following. We don't want to be leaders. We want to be led. We want people to provide us that care instead of taking care of our own life experience. So Santiago was a shepherd taking care of the sheep. They depended on him for everything, okay? And he was able to communicate and see what they needed, okay? Now that's speaking about the lower mind, wanting to be taken care of and not taking responsibility of your own life experience, wanting to have authority outside of you, wanting somebody to tell you, okay, now, like a sheep, go move and go graze there now. Go move and do that now. That's how people are living, like sheep, right? So awakeness and awareness is about you opening yourself to understand that I am the authority of my own life, okay? I'm now taking authority of my own life. And this is what the book has also taught me, that yes, it's speaking about us taking charge of our own life experience and being the alchemists, the people that are in charge of our own experience. When somebody says to me, go do a certain thing, I ask myself first, do I really like this thing? Will this thing add to my life? Am I just going to do it because the authority outside of me told me to do it? Okay, like in a workspace, that happens a lot, right? So my way of solving or facing that is this: I know personally, whatever I do at my workspace, okay, where I work, I sell my time and I sell my skills for money, okay? I know I'm adding value. I know wherever I go, I add value, right? I'm adding value because there's no other person like me. I'm unique. Maybe people would have similarities to me, but I'm unique. I carry a unique vibration. Okay. If you go back to even where you have an ID, your date of birth, the time of birth, your ID, your family, your life script is different. So we all here for different expressions, okay? So my energy is unique, right? So when I'm going to work for somebody else, this organization, if I'm working, I'm there to add value, right? So that also helped me appreciate myself and appreciate my work that I'm doing for those 8 hours, 5 days a week. You get my point? And I'm adding value to that organization. I'm being of service. That's a key concept about life, being of service to others. Okay. Now remember that being of service is very high frequency, because it means that you're not only focusing on yourself, you're focusing on something outside of you to add value to that thing. And in turn, you're adding value to yourself, right? In turn, you feel that self-esteem boosted. Yes, I'm good at this. I can do maybe if it's a spreadsheets, or maybe I can do presentations. I'm good at this. You understand? Because the job that you do, the mundane job you're doing, is also adding to you. It's always adding to you, not only the salary, but also the experience, the connection, the relationships you have with every person in your workspace as well also adds to you. We're on a journey here, right? So when you read the book, The Alchemist, it speaks about that alchemist's journey. So I'm asking you today, what is your journey? What is your process? Are you the authority in your life, number one, right? Are you knowing where you're going? Are you living in your passion, right? Living in your passion, meaning that you're doing things that make you happy, okay? And remember that it's all about the perception, okay? Because when I coach a lot of people that are not happy in their jobs where they're working, I always ask them, okay, you apply for the job. Yes, I did apply for that job. Okay, you signed that contract for that job. Yes, I did. Okay, cool. Now, do you recall your feelings and your objectives when you were signing that contract? Did you recall when you applied for the job, how you waited patiently for a positive response? You finally got the employment. Now you're there. So while you're having a hard time enjoying where you are, the people, that's the first thing. People have problems with people, right? I can't work with my boss. He's like this, he's like that, he's like that. Okay. Right. This is now the challenge of being human. Every single person in your experience is there to grow you. Every single person in your life experience is there to grow you. You don't like your boss. You don't understand that your boss is there for a certain reason. Your manager is there for a certain reason. That person is triggering something within you which you need to examine for yourself. Why am I triggered by this person? At the end of the day, you're not there to love every single person or whatever, right? And be their best buddy, but we need to be coordinal. We need to be able to work with every single person. So if you're not getting along with people and you have that core problem that you can't get along with people, that means there's something within yourself that you need to sort out. Your expectations about other people or maybe are not balanced. You're expecting other people to show up in a certain way because you have a belief about life and how people should be. Now, people are there to challenge you because those people are going to challenge you to face something within yourself that you need to change, right? You need to realize that every single person is here to experience their life, right? And every person can only operate from his own level of awareness. Your boss, your manager is operating from his own level of awareness, right? You have your own level of awareness. You have no right to be wanting to change somebody else's level of awareness and understanding, right? You have no right to do that. It's impossible. What you need to do is find peace with who you are and where you are and say, okay, I might not be happy with this person however, right? But I'm here to do my job. So that means I need to be cordial, meaning I need to give that person space and respect because after all, he's my senior. Because this is the system that we run in, okay? He is the authority at that time, not my personal life authority, but he is the authority in the space I am in now, right? And remember that person's also her employee. He's employed as well, and you're also employed, but now you need to now working together. It's about you understanding people and allowing people to be who they are, and you pitching up there with your best self. You get my point? Your best self. When you leave your home and you're going to another space that's not your space, where you don't have authority, we have to now submit to that authority of that space, right? You must understand that it's only for the temporal time. It's only for the time. You need to just do the best you can do because you signed a contract. You signed a contract to be there. It's about the growth, okay? Again, it's about the relationship. Relationships expand human beings. Human beings have a problem with relationships, even love relationships and romantic relationships. We have an issue because we want people to do what we want them to do. We want them to pitch up the way we want them to pitch up. We get intrigued by our own perceptions and we projecting it on them because we want them to be the way we want them to be. Now that's unrealistic. Now you're causing a whole spiral of self-suffering because you don't understand that maybe you're not expecting the person to have their own perceptions. You want them to have your worldview, your perceptions, okay? When people don't like you, it's not because they don't like you, it's because you feel they don't like you. You understand it? People look for all the evidence. Now this universe works on evidence, okay? When people believe something and they believe strongly in it, the universe will give you the evidence to support your belief. It works like that. Simple. That's manifestation, right? When you believe in something strong enough, long enough, with more conviction, and you're not moved from that belief, okay? The universe will bring you situations to prove your belief. If you believe that this person doesn't like me, right? And you believe long enough, and you go there every morning, you're thinking, shit, I don't like this person doesn't like me. I don't like this person doesn't like me. You drive into the office and you're still thinking about the same thing. I don't like this person doesn't like me. By the time you get to the office, you've already manifested a situation that's going to prove what you said to yourself and what you believe all the way in the car. But if you start with the day with positivity and gratitude, daily practice as being positive, you started it. I am the leader, I'm the authority of my life. Every single person smiles at me. I'm loved by every single person, right? You don't have to be loved by every single person, but you're telling the universe that yes, I'm good enough to be loved. You understand? I got good vibration, good energy. I'm lovable. It doesn't matter if the person doesn't love you, doesn't like you. That's their own business. You understand? So we walk around in this life looking for validation, looking to be loved, and don't understand that what you believe about the situation is creating the situation. It's about transmuting that something else to what you want it to be. You understand? So all these things are very, very, very important. You are the authority of your life. Okay, you have the right and the choice to choose anything to be the authority over your life. Maybe may it be your religious belief, Jesus, whatever it is. May it be a sport, or maybe a whatever it is. Some people are so sport fanatics that everything in their life is around the sports. You understand? That's okay, because that's the authority. That's what they believe, okay? To control them, right? I make everything according to the sport that I like. I'm watching for every, like soccer. I'm watching soccer 24/7. I know when the next competitions are going to be. You know everything, right? And you even dress like, you even think that you're researching about the thing. That's your authority. It's what you believe in. It's what controls you, basically, right? So people have different authorities, things that control them in life, okay? So ask yourself today, what is my authority? Who do I believe in? I personally, I am my own authority. I believe in myself. I believe that I'm divine. I believe that I create my own reality, right? Okay? The challenge is now living that belief. Living that belief that I am my own authority. I believe that I'm the master of my own life experience, okay? When I first came across that concept after I left the church, it was such a huge thing to work through. You understand? I'm saying I'm the master of my life. I don't need to pray to a God to help me, right? I don't need to, and it doesn't mean I'm an atheist. That doesn't mean I'm an atheist. I still believe in the divine source, okay? So that was like a big thing for me. And now I need to understand that me and the so-called God that creates all things are working together. We are co-creating my life experience, okay? And for each and for each single person in this world, all 7 or 8 billion of us, divine source, the universe, the matrix, whatever you may call it, is working with each one of us to create the realities, our micro realities, our smaller realities, right? And then all 8 billion of us are creating the macro experience of this reality. Unfortunately, most of us are low frequency, have authorities that are outside of us. So we're creating from a space of, I need you to do this for me. I'm giving you my power. I'm religious. You understand? I live in fear. I'm giving you my power, right? Because I'm so worried about when I die. Because religion is about when you die, you'll go to heaven, right? Why not have the heaven right here? When you have self-authority and self-autonomy, you create your own heaven right here. But you have to now remove all the dogma and the programming of the game because of the religious program, because most people come from a religious or a spiritual program that has kept them kept them bowing down to a certain authority outside of them. That religion is a tool. That information is a tool. For me, religion, spirituality, everything is a tool. I'm the authority. I decide on what is in my life. I decide how I'm going to be today. I am the authority of my life. And I believe strongly in that, right? So it's a journey moving from a space of where you have something outside of you that's authority, right? Now, remember, with the book of the Alchemist, right? So Santiago went through a life experience and he learned that he is the master of his life, okay? There might be bad things that come in. He was robbed. He decided, well, I'll overcome the thing and I'll move on. I'm going where I'm going. I know there will be challenges, but I'm going to face them with maturity. So this guy was actually a mature person that wanted to see more in life, right? He decided, I'm taking control of my life experience. And that's what we need to do. Take control of our life experience, okay? So let me just end my live now. I hope it was helpful. Hope that every single word that I said, right, triggered an insight and helped you to see life more differently, help you to see how you can better your life experience. It's about you bettering your life experience, right? It's about you living your own authentic life experience. Be happy, be joyful, right? Respect others. When you respect yourself, you will definitely respect other people, okay? So enjoy yourself and have a great week further. I will have another live tomorrow. If you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, right? I'm Sissy, and life coach, and motivational speaker and spiritual teacher as well. So go there and subscribe to my channel, okay? And then also watch my videos and comments as well, right? And also ask me questions and suggest some topics that you want me to speak about in terms of spirituality, self-development, esoteric stuff, whatever it is. Suggest, send me a message, right? And then I will create some information, some video on that, and we can speak about that, right? Okay, so have a great week, Saturday further, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I will be doing another live tomorrow, same time, okay, around 10 o'clock, okay, in the morning, South African time. All right, have a great day further, guys, and remember that you loved, that you are precious, and you are valuable to yourself and to the world itself, okay? Have a great day further, guys. Bye.